Hey, good morning. Pastor Clark here with Coffee Creek Church, and we are so glad that you're joining us today online for this very special broadcast on the first Sunday of our Do Good campaign for 2025. Now, this is an annual campaign at Coffee Creek, doing this for a few years now, and we are really excited to tell you a little bit more about it. In brief, what we do is we receive an offering over 3 Sundays, and 100% of that offering goes to nonprofits right here in the Oklahoma City metro that are already doing good, have been doing good for many years, and it's a really fun time for us. We have online giving available right now. If you'd like to give, you go to coffeecreek.app and just click on the give button there, and that will get you set up for that. There's a drop down as you give. It says either ministry or the Do Good project right now. And so make sure you check Do Good if you'd like to give to this project. And I'm going to talk more about it. Next Sunday, we'll get into a lot of it, and we have some special videos that we'll put up that will be a little bit later than the Sunday, but they're going to happen live on that Sunday morning. We have videos that will be like people telling you more about the work, answering questions, some roundtable kind of things, some panels. So we're really excited. Our project partner this year is called the Spero Project. I'll talk a little bit more about it today at the very end. But again, just wanted to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us online, and we are really excited. So let's get started with Do Good and talk a little bit about the first week of Do Good, which is about serving. And so we focus on serving. And this is kind of something that I think is an anonymous or unknown quote that I found years ago. It's been ascribed to a lot of different people, but I don't know that there's anyone that can really take credit for it. It's difficult to get the quotes right to the bottom of quotes sometimes. But this one says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is just something that's always rung true for me. People that give you advice, right? You're like, okay, thanks. But if you know that they really care about you, like if they're your friend, if they have invested in you in your life, that's a lot different reality. And you listen to them more, and we tend to like take what they say with more weight. And so today I want to talk about this idea because I think service is something that makes things really sticky. It makes things last. It makes words more important. It makes actions certainly more important. And people often remember the love that someone had for them instead of the task. Like sometimes they won't remember all the stuff someone did for them. And I know that's challenging for those of you that are service oriented. You do things and you're like, they don't even remember anything I do. But the reality is they remember your love. They remember that you were there for them. They remember that they can trust you or call on you in difficult times. And so it's not always about the specific, as frustrating as that may be, the specific thing, but it is about the love that they know that you have for them. And honestly, the greatest story is the good news. And it's difficult sometimes to get that across because sometimes we react like children, like we have our fingers in our ears, like we're little kids. But that's our world, right? We live in kind of a me first world. And if you think about it, 100% of social media is narcissistic driven. Like the algorithm is based on you being a narcissist. It is, I've started to refer to social media as me media. Like it's just all about me. It's what are you thinking? What's going on in your world right now? What pretty picture can you take of what's going on? And it's just constant pressure to have your own PR company kind of to make yourself look good. I was rereading a book this week and I got into his podcast of an author named Cal Newport. And if you haven't heard of him, one of his favorite books that I wrote, I don't know if it's most popular or not, but it's called Slow Productivity. And he just kind of gets into this idea. He's like a computer science professor, I believe. He gets into this idea of how our world is too fast moving, and a lot of the stuff that we have out there, we just need to slow down. And that, kind of his perspective is social media has not added a lot of good to that. And if you think about it, uh, what would your answer be if I asked you the question, like, why aren't you serving? Like, why aren't you volunteering somewhere? And I think a lot of it is we don't serve because we're busy, because we're tired, because we feel like we have no margin. And yet we should have the most margin of anybody. Think about the technology we have that wasn't available 20 or 30 or 50 years ago. I mean, we don't have to walk miles to get our water. We don't have to worry about clean food sources most of the time. Shelter's not a problem. So, I mean, I'm just going down Maslow's hierarchy here. We've got all these things taken care of. Why aren't we at self-actualization? We got AI doing stuff for us now, right? I mean, technology, computers should have added so many hours to our day so that we could serve a lot more. Sometimes it feels awkward to serve, like we don't know where to start. We figure everything's taken care of already. But here's one thing I've found: serving really energizes you. It breaks the grip of self, and it can start to dampen me media a little bit. I don't say it can kill it, but it starts to dampen it. And it subverts the status of, you know, I have to I have to constantly be putting how good things are going for me, and I have to look good and act good and do, it's like it removes a lot of those things, and it knocks you down and humbles you real quick. I remember when I was learning more at the beginning of our kind of foray into um, homeless ministry, we wanted to learn more. And so Wendy and I went to New York City to study under the Salvation Army and a big missions project up there in New York City for the last 30 or 40 years. And we were serving on the streets, and I was helping a man get off the ground because he was in the bike path, and it was like, I don't know, 11:30 at night, and he was just passed out drunk, and he was laying there, and he started to get sick as I tried to help him move so he wouldn't get run over, and I was trying to get him to a bench, and then another guy came to help me, in a Good Samaritan, and he threw up all over me, and I was like, I mean, not all over me, right? I mean, it was like on my arms, but I was like, oh, that's gross. That was February 2020. And they were just starting to talk about this new COVID thing. And it was at the very end of February. And so I had to go home knowing that COVID was becoming a thing, and this dude just barfed all over me. But it humbles you real quick, right? It humbled me real quick. And I think the ultimate thing is that we learn, and I hope that you learn today, is that service is not optional. It is a mark of the follower of Jesus. So if you want to be a follower of Jesus, service is going to be integrated into your life. It's going to be a part of that. So let's dive into our text for today. It is 1 John 3, 16 through 20. I'm going to read from the New Living Translation. It says, "We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us." So this is how we know what love is. We have a plumb line. We have a test for what love is. And it's that Jesus was even willing to go to the cross and death for us. So there's the ultimate litmus test for your own love. It says in verse 16, in the second half, "So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person?" Verse 18, "Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other," right? Talk is cheap. Let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. Our actions will show that we belong to the truth, so we will be confident when we stand before God. Even if we feel guilty, God is greater than our feelings, and he knows everything. So here's the thing. A lot of time people are forgiven by God. They're covered by the sacrifice of Jesus and the death and resurrection of Jesus, and yet they still feel a twinge of guilt. Now that's normal, right? That's like your check engine light when you have a problem, and so that's a normal feeling. And yet at the same time, Jesus takes that away. And I love that the writer here is kind of saying, like, look, your feelings are getting in the way, because the reality is, the fact is, God is greater than your feelings, and he knows everything in your life. So you don't have to feel guilty when you stand before God. Your actions will prove that you belong to the truth. And what are your actions? Well, it's got to be less about self, right? This whole text here is about the idea of giving up on self and serving others, just as Jesus did. And so knowing about good is a start, but being the good, doing the good, that's where it really becomes real in your life. And that actually brings blessing to your life, because it helps you to stand before holy, good God. And even knowing you're not holy, knowing that you have got a lot of problems, knowing that you have done things you're not proud of, helps you not even feel guilty, because you can stand confidently in front of God, knowing that he is flowing through you. And you were made for this, right? You were created to do good. You were created to do good works. God wired you this way. So when you do good, it feels good because it's part of your natural creation. It's what you were made to do. Something that jumped out at me too there is this idea that it's just a waste of time for you to be overly concerned about your guilt feelings, right? And yet it consumes us. I know. I mean, it's a consuming thing. But the reality is you don't have to do that. And I think it comes back to this idea that this is very powerful. Let's show the truth by our actions, right? We can talk about truth until we're blue in the face, but people really experience it best when they see it coming out of how we live our life. And this happened in the early church. Uh, the Christians were the only ones that were willing to go like work with the people that were sick and the lepers. I mean, the idea of hospitals comes from the Christian church. So you have these early Christians very focused on, hey, let's do what Jesus said. Let's live the truth. Let's live it out. And so that's a really powerful thing to happen. I remember back in the early 2010s, one of our creekers had cancer, and it was a fast moving thing. It went from some back pain to me doing his funeral within a few months. And I came to the hospital in Oklahoma City one day to see him. And we were visiting, or I was visiting with the nurse outside, rather, and I was talking to her, and I was like, "Is it okay?" Because the door was closed, and I'm always like leery if the door's closed. And I was like, "Is it okay if I go in and see him?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "He was in a lot of pain this morning, and so we had to push his meds up a little bit, so he may not be completely there." Well, I walk in, and he's completely passed out. Like he is not awake at all, and so. It was really high up in a high floor, so it got a beautiful view of the city, and the chair was open, so I went to sit, and we'd sent some flowers or balloons or something, and it was like right there, and so I was like looking at the card, and I thought, well, I'll give him a second, so I sat there, and I kind of looked out at the city, and I was kind of admiring that, and I looked back, and just nothing, and so I started to talk to him. I was like, hey, just wanted you to know I'm here, and I want to pray for you. And so I prayed for him. And this whole thing was like 10 minutes, right? I mean, I was from the time I talked to the nurse, got in there and everything, prayed and left. It was not a long encounter. And I don't have business cards or anything. So I remember a professor telling me, like, you got to leave a business card every time you go to the hospital, especially if they're not awake or something. So they know you were there. I'm like, what? And so I didn't do that, obviously. And so I left and went home because it was the end of the day. And I got a call the next day from a family member that said, hey, just wanted to thank you so much for visiting him. And he said, thanks for the great talk. And I was like, we didn't talk at all. But, I don't know, right? I never really figured out, like, if he just could hear everything I was saying to him and the prayer and all that. But at the end of the day, what it reinforced to me is that service is not about us. It's not about us in the moment, knowing that what we're doing is serving exactly at that moment, what it's doing, like what the end goal is. Because I've done a lot of things where I've been serving. I'm like, this seems futile. This seems like this is not good. This is a drop in the bucket. But the reality is we just don't always know the impact of what we're doing. And I love what Spurgeon said one time. This is a famous pastor who's deceased, obviously, but he said, the way to do a great deal is to keep on doing a little. The way to do nothing at all is to be constantly or continually rather resolving that you will do everything. So you want to get nothing done? Keep saying, oh, there's just so much to do and I'm going to do everything, because you won't do anything that way. But if you want to do a great deal over time, right? It's a time thing, then keep on doing a little. And that's a great encouragement to us because you don't have to worry about saving the whole world or fixing everything at once. Focus on the little things because they add up. A 10-minute visit in a hospital made a huge difference to him and his family. I wasn't thinking about it in that context, right? I thought about it as like, what a waste of time. I didn't get to visit with him. At least I got to pray, but like I didn't pray with him, so I could have prayed at home or at work. And instead, it was a huge deal. So here's the simple process: start small and repeat. That's it. That's it for today. Start small and repeat and keep doing it. If you want to be a part of the big things, things that are bigger than you, you'll miss out if you don't do the small things first. So I want to give you a couple of ideas that are small and repeatable and how you can serve. First of all is our Bless Your Neighbors program. And I think this is awesome. It's a website, it's an app, it's free. We pay for the subscription for you, so you don't have to worry about that at all. It's a huge thing. You can bless your neighbors, is what you're signing up to do. Everybody that does this, we call lights. And over the last 3 years at Coffee Creek, we have prayed for thousands of people as a group of people. And we get individual homes, the names of the people in those homes that live right around us, like really live close to you, and you pray for them. And you can do it daily. I do it daily, Monday through Friday. You can do it once a week, every other day. There's all these different ways you can set it up. It'll email you, and I have the app on my phone, so it texts, or it doesn't text, but it's the notification. And you can click it, and it says, hey, here's your reminder today. You can set what time. I think mine's at 10 a.m. Here's your reminder, pray for these folks. And then once a week, I get a list of people that have newly moved into the area right around me. And I'll say, hey, these are your new neighbors. I usually get one or two a month. And man, if you're a busy parent, it's an app. Like, it's easy. It's simple. You're carrying it with you. You're sitting in a car line. You're waiting at the DMV. You have a down moment. You're an introvert. You're a busy student. All these fit great with this. Are you a skeptic? Pray for your neighbors. Start trying. I mean, it's something to try. It changed my life. Changed my life praying for my neighbors. It's really amazing. It's 5 minutes a day. It's powerful. It's repeatable, and it's free to you. And so you get signed up through this. Go here, or you can go to our app, coffeecreek.app, and get signed up today on the Bless Your Neighbors. Just click the big button there. And the other idea for you is, if you're local Oklahoma City, is to serve with us. Once a month, we serve downtown. We serve a warm meal to folks that are homeless in the streets of Oklahoma City, our friends. And you can do that even next Sunday. But if you want to check out our, I think next 4 or 5 months are listed, just scan this code or go to coffeecreek.app, and it will take you there, and you can look at the upcoming events there. You just register for it, and our volunteer coordinators will help you out and figure it all out. But basically, we pass out food 8 a.m. on the first Sunday of each month, and we cook a meal. And we have all these things that go down there, but you can help mainly by setting up, cleaning up afterwards, passing out the food. It's really cool. If you're busy, hey, this is a great thing. It's before church on Sunday mornings. It can kick off your week great. You're a parent, you can actually take your kids with you. You have to watch them, obviously, because you're outside on the streets of downtown Oklahoma City, but we have lots of people that take their kids. And it's an excellent way to kind of see the heartbeat of our church. And so I want to encourage you to do that. I want to close with this kind of image I came up with. And I think this one really helped me this week, is that, when you go to the eye doctor and they're like, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. Take a look at the next 2 slides. I'm going to do 1 or 2 with you for a little bit. And I want you to think about, what kind of world do you want to build? What kind of community do you want to have? What would you be willing to work hard for? This kind of community where we're yelling at each other, yelling over each other, not listening to each other, never hearing the other person, endless arguing, endless debate, and it's more about spectacle and division. Is that the kind of world you want? Or how about 2? Praying for one another, listening to each other, serving others without any expectation of being repaid, celebrating the things that unite us rather than those things that divide us. And now I want you to answer not only what do you want, but what kind of world do you think God wants? 1 or 2? What kind of world do you want? 1 or 2? What kind of actions will lead more people to Jesus? 1 or 2? Here's the practice we're focusing on today. It is to serve others. I believe at the end of the day, the church's reputation is not the sermons it teaches and talks about things. It's the service. It's what do we talk about versus what do we do. Do good is our focus over the next 3 weeks. And it's our chance to make God's love visible to those who cannot see God as right now. Imagine if the review for us, the community review for us, from people that don't like church, don't like Christians, don't like God, they think, was, you know what? Coffee Creek. That's the church that feeds the hungry. That's the church that cares about my kids. That's the church that, really listens to people. That's the church that's praying for me. That's the kind of reputation we're looking for. We don't want to be the coolest. We don't got the hippest pastor. We don't want it to be about the music we make. We don't want it to be about how pretty our building is, obviously. We don't be how big we are, how small we are, how wonderful our donuts are, our coffee. Like, all that's silly, right? That's not the reputation we're aiming for. Ephesians 2 says it like this: God made us, created us, designed us to do good works. And God planned this in advance for us to live our whole lives doing these things. Like, if you are interested in loving God and doing good, our mission here at Coffee Creek, man, when you serve people, they experience God's love. They don't just hear about it. They don't just learn about it. It's not just information. Oh, God loves me. Thank you so much. Like, if you say that to people, God loves you, but your actions don't match up with that, they do not get the message. They need to know that you care first to understand it. God's caring for them. People hear about God's love, but people experience it, and they really get it at that point. And each of us has a real opportunity to be a part of that for the future, for today, sharing God's love. And so in these divisive and painful times we're living through right now, our best response is to turn down the me media, shut it out as much as possible, and roll up our sleeves and get busy with the work of serving. This is what the early church did. And so I want to invite you to say yes to the way of Jesus today. Again, if you want to serve, those two opportunities, I think, are two really easy opportunities: the homeless ministry and bless your neighbors. And then, take a moment to check those out. coffeecreek.app if you need to get on your phone and do that right now. Our Do Good offering is available on coffeecreek.app, as I mentioned as well. It works with the Spero Project. And so through the Spero Project, we are welcoming refugees. We are helping provide education for folks that are new to our community. And we're encouraging partnership with a broader coalition of partners. And so we hope that you will give so that we can support them strongly this year. Now, I want to let you know about one other thing. We're going to be reading the Bible together for the next 21 days through this Do Good time. So over the next 3 weeks, this 3-week series. And so I want to invite you to start that with us today. There is an app inside of our app. I know it's kind of weird, but you have to sign up for it. Well, you don't have to. I mean, you could get the app for free, the Dwell app, but we are paying for a premium subscription for that. And we'd love to read the Bible with you. And here's the thing. The Dwell app is cool because you can read it, or like I like to take a walk and listen. So you can put your headphones in and it will read the Bible to you. And it goes over the specific verses we'll be reading together. So it's a Bible reading plan. I think it's 5 to 10 minutes a day if you handle it that way. And so it's not super long, but we would love to invite you to be a part of that. Go to our app, coffeecreek.app, and you can find out all the details. Click on the Read the Bible button, and we would love to engage with you in that. Again, thanks so much for joining us. Next Sunday, we have a lot more new content for you as well. So join us back then. God bless you. Have a great week.